Thank you for joining us tonight. Our program will be starting shortly. Please feel free to write comments in the live chat on the right. And now, I would like to welcome the Executive Director of Neighbors Link, Carola Otero Bracco.
Hello, and thank you for joining us. I am Carola Otero Bracco, and I have the great privilege of being the Executive Director of Neighbors Link. I want to thank you so much for being here tonight, and we especially want to thank Bill Whitaker for taking the time to join us for a fascinating conversation. I also want to thank our event sponsors and the Friends of Neighbors Link for helping plan this event. At Neighbors Link, our mission has always been to strengthen the whole community through the healthy integration of immigrants. Quite simply, we believe that immigrants make our communities stronger, safer, and more vibrant. The past few months have been an incredibly difficult time for all of us. However, they have also reminded us of the vital role that immigrants play in society. Immigrants make up disproportionately large shares of essential workers who are on the front lines of the COVID-19 pandemic. They have also been among those hardest hit economically. Thanks to strong community support, Neighbors Link has dramatically expanded our services to meet this unprecedented need. We are providing crisis and legal support. We're distributing fresh and non-perishable food, as well as hot meals, and distributing grocery store gift cards. And when families are isolated, we are delivering these essential items directly to their homes. We are proud to also be distributing about $1 million in cash relief to families. That means about 1,000 families will each receive about $1,000 to help them pay for rent and basic needs. I am grateful that we have been able to continue the programs that are central to our mission. Our programs are all virtual. Parents and children continue to meet online for Family Center programming. Teachers and learners gather online for regular English classes, and workers come to Neighbors Link for job skills training conducted outside that will help them get back into the workforce. We also continue to fight for what is right, even in the face of an administration determined to decimate the rights of immigrants and their families. We continue advocating for equal economic relief for immigrant workers. We have been fighting to keep ICE out of our courthouses so people can feel safe participating in our justice system. We are working with DACA recipients to renew their status while they still can. And we continue to advocate for policies that are just and humane. None of us know what the future will bring in terms of the COVID-19 pandemic or the upcoming election. What we do know is that Neighbors Link will be here continuing to assist and empower immigrant individuals and families to continue contributing to our community, making it a stronger and more vibrant place for all of us. We will be getting to my conversation with Bill Whitaker shortly, but first I would like to introduce a good friend to Neighbors Link, Krista Orth. She's here to tell you more about how you can support our work.
Hello, thank you, Carola. That was so amazing. I'm Krista Orth, and as Carola shared, I've been a friend of Neighbors Link for many years. Like you, I'm very happy to know Neighbors Link continues to serve immigrants and their families so fully despite all the challenges in the world. I'm thrilled to be here with you all tonight to celebrate the work of Neighbors Link. Thank you for being with us. And thank you for giving me a reason to get dressed up tonight. I mean, it's been a while. Believe it or not, I can really feel the energy and commitment from all of you who are tuning in from Westchester and across the country. So let's get this party started. We want to thank the top sponsors of tonight's event, Agnes and Gerald Hassel, our board chair, Lisa Burns and Meryl Allison, Kevin Conroy and Anita Nordahl, the fabulous Barbara and Kenneth Jackson, Sarah Lee and Henry Axel Schupf, Adam Rothschild and Catherine Kavitas Rothschild. Thanks so much to you and to all our sponsors. We also want to thank the Neighbors Link Board of Directors and the Friends of Neighbors Link. And we'd like to thank the government officials who are joining us tonight, including Senator Peter Harcum, Assemblyman David Buchwald, Town of Bedford Deputy Supervisor Mary Ann Carr, and from Governor Cuomo's office, the Director of Immigration Policy and Research, Laura Gonzalez Murphy. Thanks to these local officials who advocate for the rights of immigrants and families. Now, as you've just heard, Neighbors Link has served our communities for years, and they're not stopping anytime soon. If you are joining us for the first time, welcome. You're in for a real treat. At its core, Neighbors Link brings our communities together, and tonight is a great example of that. Now, I'm honored to be the one to ask you to support Neighbors Link tonight. If you're wondering how you can make a difference for immigrants who make our community so vibrant, we ask that you join us and donate tonight, all of you, if you can. If you're able, a gift of any size makes a huge difference and sends a great message. And it's really easy. I'm going to show you how to participate right now. So first, take out your phone and text your pledge to the number you see on the screen, 914-687-5504. Type your name, a short message, and the amount of your gift, then press send, and your message and your gift is going to magically appear on the screen. How cool is that? And listen, if you're shy, you can even give anonymously. Your gift will provide vital funding for Neighbors Link's English language classes, family center programs, and workforce development. You'll also be supporting Neighbors Link's legal work and crisis support services, which are so crucial right now. Your gift of $25, $1,000, $5,000 or more will really make a difference. And I just can't emphasize enough, gifts of any size are greatly appreciated and needed. You can also donate online via the link. We'll put it in the chat. Or if you like to give the real old-fashioned way, you can mail a check to Neighbors Link, and the mailing address will also be in the chat. Okay, now let's see who's texted their pledge. Ooh, Agnes and Gerald Hassel, $10,000. That is so amazing. We are sending that love right back to you. Kathy and Jim Colby, $100. Thank you so much for supporting the mission of Neighbors Link. $1,000 from Permit Consulting. Thank you so much, Permit Consulting. This is wonderful. Oh my goodness gracious. Okay, keep those pledges coming. Text those pledges to 914-687-5504. Again, we've got that gift from Agnes and Gerald. That's amazing. So wonderful. Thank you for sending in your love tonight by texting your pledge. Kathy and Jim Colby, again, we want to thank you. Thank you so, so much. And there's Permit Consulting again for $1,000. This is so wonderful. Great, great, great. Oh, looks like we have another pledge from Pete Harcum. Thanks so much for your $150 gift. Andrea and Bruce Yablon, $1,000. Yes, we will keep up the amazing work, Andrea and Bruce. Thank you so much. $2,000 from Catherine Honig and Douglas Maynard. Ah, this is so wonderful. Yes, it is amazing work. Neighbors Link does amazing work, and we need them to last forever and ever. $1,000 from Skip and Michaela Beitzel. Thank you so much. Thank you for that anonymous gift of $1,000. Richard and Jamie Comstock, $1,000. Wow, 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 wow. Zoe and Brooke Tejtel, $500. Ellen and Greg Finn, $250, $100 from Anonymous. You all are keeping me on my toes. This is so exciting. $500 for this amazing organization doing critical work. Annie and Peter McAndrew, we appreciate you so, so much. Good luck tonight. This is a pledge of $1,000 from Tracy Stein. Thank you. We feel that good luck in the air, Tracy. Thank you. Agnes and Gerald, another 5,000. You all can text again, whatever you'd like to do. That's amazing. $100 from Carol Barber. Thank you. We appreciate you so much. Lauren Locke, $50 for the wonderful mission of Neighbors Link. $100 from Anonymous, we appreciate you. From Matt Bisbano, we appreciate you. We love that work that Neighbors Link does. Thank you. $150 from Maria Otero. Onward, Neighbors Link. Yes, thank you. Lynn and Paul Thomasette, $100. This is so fabulous. Thank you so, so much. What an amazing start to our Text to Pledge. It's open all night, and I'll be back soon with an update. So now we're going to move to the conversation you've all been waiting for between 60 Minutes correspondent Bill Whitaker and Neighbors Link's executive director, Carola Otero Bracco. Take it away, Carola.
Thank you, Krista. It is now my great honor and privilege to introduce Bill Whitaker. As you all know, Bill is a correspondent for 60 Minutes and CBS News. He has had a long and distinguished career as a journalist, and we're thrilled that he's joining us tonight for a conversation about the issues facing our country. So welcome, Bill Whitaker, and thank you so much for taking the time to come and speak to the Neighbors Link community. I know you've had a long and distinguished career reporting around the United States and really the whole world, and we're excited to hear some of your thoughts on the issues that the immigrant community faces. I know you've reported on many issues that relate to race and to policing, and I was wondering if you could talk to us a little bit about the intersection between immigrant rights and racial justice issues.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'd like to go a little old school on you, back to the mid-1960s. Martin Luther King, the head of who was leading the civil rights movement, wrote a telegram to Cesar Chavez, who was head of the United Farm Workers Association. It was a union of farm workers, mostly immigrants from Mexico and Central America, undocumented workers. And Martin Luther King said in the telegram that our struggles might appear to be separate, but they're actually one struggle. And it's one struggle for freedom, for dignity, and humanity. And I would argue that that's true today. Most of the people who find themselves feeling like second-class citizens in this country are people of color and immigrants. And so an injustice to one is an injustice to all, and we should all be offended by that. And I think that's a commonality that we all should recognize that carries on even through today.
That's so interesting. Tell me, and how do you think we combat this as we deal with issues related to racial justice today and with immigration? How do you think we combat some of this? How do we address this as a country?
I think we're doing it. I mean, when you look at what's going on in the streets today, you know, we're so exercised about what's going on. And we have to remember that this country was born out of protest. I mean, the original Tea Party was American colonists, protesters, who took private property and threw it into Boston Harbor to protest higher taxes, high taxes. The first person killed in the American Revolution, Crispus Attucks, a black man. It was part of a protest that led to the Boston Massacre. So we have a really long history of doing what we're doing today, which is, you know, going before our leaders and saying something needs to change. I think we're doing what we need to do.
Could you talk to us a little bit about what you think immigrants, Black people, people of color, what should they be doing to work together in addressing some of these racial injustice issues in this country right now?
Well, I think we all have to realize that we are in the same boat, on the same page. It's easy in the United States to see our differences. It's very easy. And as a matter of fact, right now, this period we're going through right now, we are more aware of our differences than we are aware of what we have in common. But I think people of color and immigrants have a lot in common. As I was saying previously, when you ask around, the people who feel that they are too often viewed as second-class citizens in this country, it's people of color and immigrants. So we are sort of all facing the same obstacles, but we don't see that we've got this in common. We just see what we are individually or as a group going through. And if we took our blinders off, we would see that workers and people of color and immigrants and everybody who is sort of, in the streets today calling for change, they're all calling pretty much for the same thing. And I think it's becoming clear when you see the people in the streets today, they're of all ages, all colors, all ethnicities, all pushing for change. And that's how change comes about in the United States. So we just have to see that we have much more in common than our differences, our surface differences.
Do you have a story that you would like to share with us that you've reported on regarding U.S. immigration?
But I think the story that sticks with me the most was a story I did in Mexico about a train called the Beast. And some also call it the Death Train. And it's a freight train that comes the length of Mexico from the border with Guatemala all the way up to cities along the U.S.-Mexico border. And migrants jump on this train. They hop the train for the ride. And it's a very, very dangerous ride. My crew and I went along for about 100 miles on this train. And in the beginning, it's almost festive. It's mostly young men, and they jump on the train, they're riding on top, they're hanging off the side, they're riding in between cars. And, everybody's got this dream of getting to the United States and to jobs. And they get to the first stop, and everybody jumps off and runs into the woods because the federales are there and they're arresting people who are in the country illegally, in Mexico illegally. So they run into the woods. And in the woods, the bandits are waiting for them. And there's almost no one on that train who makes it to the border with the U.S. who is not assaulted, raped, robbed. So they run into the woods where they're attacked by the bandits, and then when the train starts to take off, they run back to hop back on the train. And this time it's not so festive. This time it's serious. They know what they're up against. We saw a kid slip off the train and fall under the tracks, and was killed by the train itself. But yet they come, and it's not like they don't know what they're facing. When they are getting ready to get on the train, the word goes out, it's the grapevine. Everybody knows people who tried and failed to make it and were killed or robbed. They all know what they're facing, but yet they do it, which just makes you wonder what is the horror they're leaving that they think this beast, riding the beast, is a better way out. I'll never forget that.
And at Neighbors Link, our Immigration Legal Services does provide support to a lot of people who have come into this country in that way. And as you mentioned, many of them young. and trying to either reunite with their parents or find a new life. And so it has really been heartbreaking to see this. I remember your 60 Minutes piece on this, and it did inspire us to cover this issue more completely, as we also talked to our clients and learned about their stories of riding the beast and coming to this country. Could you talk to us a little bit about what gives you hope as you think about the future of our country? What things give you hope?
Young people. Young people. When I see the young people marching in the streets today, it's something I've never seen before. I mean, I'm old enough to have, I was a little kid during the Civil Rights Movement. My father went to the March on Washington, and so I remember that period. And there were, of course, white allies marching alongside the civil rights marchers. But for the most part, the people being bitten by dogs and hosed down by fire hoses, it was mostly a black protest. This time, I look out into the streets, and it's kind of a marvel to behold. I mean, this is America out in the streets, and in some instances, these protests were happening in little towns in the South and the Midwest, where there are very, very few black residents. And people were coming out to say that something's wrong, something needs to change. And so as I see these mostly young people who are making this expression, and for the first time, you know, this is their almost baptism in being an active participant in this raucous democracy. I mean, they're getting a real lesson in this. You know, you raise your voice, you raise your hand, you move your feet, you speak out, you say what you don't like and what you would like to change. And as I was saying earlier, it may not happen right in front of, you know, it may not happen today or even tomorrow, but it's part of our journey. It's part of our process. And what gives me hope is seeing that we still have hope, you know, that we're not shrugging our shoulders and saying, it says in the Constitution, in order to make a more perfect union. So that's what people are clamoring for. They want to make things better. And do I think that, you know, just as we're about to step into a truly multicultural future, multiracial future, we're going to be the first real multiracial democracy on the face of the earth. Just as we're about to enter that future, that the American experiment is going to dissolve? No, of course not. We've got a lot more ahead of us, a lot.
Thanks a lot for that, Bill. Let me ask you one more question, if I can. So you've talked a lot about the future of our country, and could you talk a little bit about the role that you think immigrants might play in the future of our country?
It's almost not the role that they will play, it's the role they are playing. I mean, right now, I think 1 out of 7 of contemporary Americans was born abroad. 1 out of 6 workers in the country today, 29% of our physicians were born in foreign countries. So they are playing a role right now, and they're not going anywhere. So their children will be the doctors and the lawyers, the actors, the engineers, the moms, the dads, the professors of the future. And the future that I was telling you I grew up in, America was pretty much black and white. And the future that these young people, these people from all over the world are bringing us, that future is going to be in living color.
In living color. I just love that. And I can't think of a better note to end on. Thank you so much, Bill, for spending time with us, for sharing your insights. We deeply appreciate this very fascinating conversation. Now, back to you, Krista.
Thank you, Carola, and thank you, Bill, for that meaningful conversation. It makes us all think about the powerful coalition that we form when we all work together. I really like that Bill reminded us an injustice to one is an injustice to all. Tonight, we're here because we're here together because we believe in justice for all and a truly multicultural future, including immigrants and their families. So I'm back to give an update on fundraising. Oh, I have some good news. In total, from sponsors and text to pledge and people who gave online, this event has already raised $86,000 for Neighbors Link, which is so fabulous. It's wonderful. But can we get to 90,000? Let's see if we can bust through 90,000, friends. And just a reminder, when you give to Neighbors Link, when you text your pledge, you're supporting English language classes for the Family Center programs, workforce development, legal services, and the crisis support services that folks need so badly right now. So remember, you can text the number you see on the screen, 914-687-5504, and let's check in to see who's texting their pledge. Wow, Jane and Rob Shepherdson, $2,500. Oh my gosh, that is so amazing. Thank you. Jackie and Earl Graves, $25. We appreciate you so much. Thank you. Jelaine and David Casper, $1,000. Thank you, Jelaine and David. That's amazing and wonderful. There's my wife, Allie Cotterill and Krista Orth. We do love Neighbors Link. Thanks, Allie. $1,000. Wow, another $1,000 from an anonymous donor. Thank you so much. $100 from Becky and Jeremy Sussman. Thank you so much, you two. We are so proud that you're part of the Neighbors Link team. $250 from the Rubin family. My goodness, this is so wonderful. They say thank you for the amazing work you do for our community. Thank you so much. Another $1,000. That's wonderful. Marianne Delaney in honor of Suzanne Grant. Thank you. $100. Thank you so much. $150 from our anonymous friend. Thank you, Neighbors Link. $100 from Alex L. Yes. $50 from Jane S. to support this wonderful organization. Thank you, Jane. This is great. Keep them coming, folks. $100 from Adriana and Alexa Murphy. $1,000 from the Beba Foundation. Thank you so much. Thank you, friends. Carl and Amy Werner, $100. They say they love Neighbors Link and all you do for the community. Thank you so much. Wow, this is so exciting. Levi Tejtel, $501. That's a lucky number. $100 from Christine McKenney. Wow. Lynn and Paul Thomasette, $100. Thank you. $150 from Maria Otero. Yes, this is so great. Thank you, Kate Permit. $250 for our fabulous staff. This is amazing. $100 from Matt Bisbano. Love the work you all do. This is so great. $100 from an anonymous friend. Thank you. Thank you, Lauren Locke, for your $50. Yes, the Neighbors Link mission is wonderful. The Fred and Mary Drake Smith family, Missouri. Thank you so much for your $250. We love Neighbors Link. We love that message. $100 from Carol Barber. We appreciate you. $500 from a friend. $50 from a friend. Wow. $400 from Catherine and Jeff. Thank you so much, everyone. This is overwhelming and fabulous. $250 from the Colbys in honor of Suzanne Grant and all. Thank you. Thank you so much. This is beautiful and wonderful and fabulous. Text to Pledge is open all night, and the link to make a donation online is in the chat if you prefer to give that way. We accept donations in any way that they come. Before we wrap up, there's some things, some number of people that made tonight run smoothly. Thank you to the dedicated staff of Neighbors Link. And thank you to the Neighbors Link Board of Directors. Thank you, Wendy Reingold, for the amazing videos. Thank you, Wendy. Thank you. And okay, before I sign off, I've been eyeing my wine glass for the last half hour or so. I'd like to raise a glass to Neighbors Link, to the immigrants and families in our communities, and to everyone who's watching. Cheers to you. But wait, the show's not quite over yet. Now I'd like to introduce the Friends of Neighbors Link. And the Friends are an extraordinary group of women who take action for immigrants and their families. Please join me in welcoming and thanking the Friends of Neighbors Link.
Hi, I'm Kathy Rothschild, one of the co-chairs of the Friends of Neighbors Link. The Friends are a dynamic group of dedicated volunteers who support Neighbors Link through fundraising, community outreach, and advocacy. On behalf of the Friends, I would like to sincerely thank everyone who attended our event tonight. The work of Neighbors Link is more important than ever, and we are deeply grateful for your support.